What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Light to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right, it's time for a rock and metal update. This one's going to be a little different than usual. I'm not just going to be showing a bunch of albums that I purchased, although most of these are new things that I've acquired in my collection since the last big rock metal update I did. But first of all, I'm going to show some test pressings. This happens to be one that I've shown before, but this is a RECON Behind Enemy Lines test pressing. RECON, this album was released on Rocks a few years ago, and test pressings are weird. They're highly collectible because there's so few of them per album. And when you find them and stumble across them in a record store, it's always surprising. I don't know, you never know how many there are. I mean, it could be 50 for all I know. In this case, there was 4. So you go 2 of 4 on there, and this is all there was to it. It's just a black sleeve with a Behind Enemy Lines sticker on the front of it. And I happen to know from Rocks, all 4 of those look exactly like that and are hand numbered. And then it's got the, this was actually printed at Rainbow Records in California. And you can see it's just a generic rainbow sleeve. Sometimes test pressings are in whites. Sometimes test pressings have record company sleeves. They're never always the same. Some people seem to like them because they think they sound better than the mass-produced albums. And whether that be the case or not, I don't know. This one doesn't sound to me any different than the final album that came out. But then again, with Rocks Records, they're doing limited pressings of 300, 400, 500 records, whereas some of the older albums were being pressed by the millions. So anyhow, this is Behind Enemy Lines. Because I showed this one before, but I just want to explain exactly what a test pressing is, just in case somebody doesn't know what they are. But these are a few that I've since added to my collection. Again, this is Rocks Records. I did a video for this one with Bill Bafford, owner of Rocks Records, not too long ago. This is being printed at Erica Records. So there's no cover on this one. It's just a white sleeve, and you can see the Erica logo, Erica Records, and you can see it's handwritten on, hand numbered. This one was number 2 of 6, and this is Holy Soldier's Last Train, first pressing on vinyl. If you want to see that video, I just put that up a few weeks ago, and I'll try to remember to put a link so you guys can find that. But yeah, this sounds fantastic, and this one actually is not out yet. It's coming out very soon, so I guess this is a bit of a commercial for that as well. But really glad to have this test pressing in my collection. Really like this album. Second album from California's Holy Soldier. This is another one that's coming out. This is Guardians Fire and Love. This is actually Retroactive Records, and this is also a recent test pressing. Retroactive's test pressings always come with these little sheets written up about what the album is about, the track listing, and a number of copies. In this case, there was 12 test copies pressed. There you go. That was hard to get out. It also has in this is not actually the cover. This is the actual lyric inner sleeve that'll come in the album. So this is your first chance at seeing this. Fire and Love, and I actually did do the artwork for this, the design for this, and laid out not a whole lot to the back, but wasn't really a whole lot of room with all the lyrics that had to be crammed on there. Again, this is actually, I believe this was also from Erica Records in California, but again, totally different. Nothing pressed on there. The only way you can tell the A and the B side is to look at the dead wax and what is scribed into the dead wax, and it does actually tell you what's the A and the B side. Fire and Love, another one that'll be coming out very soon. It's actually already on sale. I'm not really trying to do commercials here, but if you go to Boone's Overstock, they actually have the new, or the first ever vinyl pressing of Guardians Fire and Love on pre-sale now. So that will be coming out on vinyl very, very soon. This is one that came in the mail as a total shock. Jaw hit the floor from my good friend Rui Martins in Portugal. This is Major Records. This is Accuser's Double Talk, and I've actually done an Accuser, well, I've talked about Accuser many times in my videos. It's one of my favorite German thrash bands, one that I think is vastly underrated, compared to bands like Creator and Sodom and Destruction, Tankard, Accuser just aren't usually spoken of in the same sentence. But yeah, I think they're as good, and if not better, than some of those bands. So this is really, really cool to receive. This is actually from 1988, I believe. You just see a rubber stamp of the Major logo on there. Otherwise, it's just white centering. A lot of times you'll see handwritten A's and B's on them, and usually that's about it. You're not going to see a whole lot more. But again, they're usually almost always black vinyl, but not always. Sometimes they're colored vinyl too. I guess if the test pressing is going to be on vinyl. I happen to know some of those Rocks records, like the Recon, came out on orange vinyl, but the test pressings are all black vinyl. So anyhow, this is just fantastic, man. I love Accuser. Awesome to have this. I don't have any idea how many of these were printed, but I can't imagine there was that many. Finding any original pressings of Accuser is not an easy task these days. So thank you very much, Rui, for hooking me up with that. Wish I would have filmed a live opening for it because my jaw hit the floor and I almost shattered my jaw. For real. So one more test pressing I want to show you. Okay, this test pressing is just in a white sleeve, generic white centering. This is NIHILIST, the demos 88 through 89 test pressing. I have no idea. There's nothing written on here how many. There's nothing written on here about anything. This is actually a funny story. If you saw the recent upload I did for, I think it was in one of my mail videos, that my good friend Brother Greeno sent me a record by, what was the name of that band? I can't remember what it was now. Anyhow, it was a pure heavy metal band. I mean, right up his alley, stuff he loves. And he said, hey man, you want this? Because I don't really like it. It's too raw, too rough for my taste. And I was like, oh yeah, man, I love that band that you're singing. What is the name of that band? It drives me crazy. I can't. Oblivion Nights, that was what it was. So I checked a few songs online to see, maybe I'm just thinking wrong, you know. So I checked a few songs online. It's this awesome 80s heavy metal style, soaring vocals, you know, the exact kind of stuff that he loves. And so I was like, all right, right on. So he sent it to me. So I pulled this album out and I started playing. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not Oblivion Night. What is this? Well, it turns out inside the cover was a test pressing for the NIHILIST demos. It's handwritten there on the paper sleeve. So that's what this is. So funny thing, you know, it was total accident. Greeno didn't realize it was not the right band. And when I got it, only because I knew who the band was, I knew it wasn't right. But then I found out my good friend Rui Martins, the guy who I showed you earlier, sent me the Accuser. He's a huge fan of this band, so I told him I had this, and he was like, yes, I want that. So this is actually on a colored vinyl. And I looked this one up, and the regular pressings are also on a colored vinyl as well. So I don't know what the difference is between the test pressing and the regular pressing, other than this one doesn't have a cover on it, and it's just in a generic sleeve and has white centerings. So anyhow, this one's going to be going out to Portugal to my friend Rui, NIHILIST. Okay, and since we're talking about thrash metal, speaking of German thrash metal bands, this is a recent pickup. This is a reissue on Greece's No Remorse Records of Angel Dust, Into the Dark Past. Again, another great German speed metal, thrash metal band. Now this album is one of two that they released under the name Angel Dust as a thrash metal band. They would go on to release a lot more records into the 90s and even I think the early 2000s. And I love their later stuff, but it's different. It's more power metal sounding, European power metal, almost American style power metal, because it doesn't have all the keyboards and it's not all Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of thing. This is, it's just straightforward heavy metal, really. Whereas this was just raw, aggressive, and thrash metal. Really glad to have it, even if it is a repressing. Angel Dust, Into the Dark Past, No Remorse Records. Gotta love the photos. I always love the live band photos, man, especially the thrash bands with the hair flying everywhere. And see, there's hair metal for you. Angel Dust, and then you might have seen this one already if you watched one of my mail videos, but this is the one I've been spinning a lot the last few weeks. This is also another German underrated speed metal band. This is Iron Cross. This is Hellish CROSSFIRE, and great album from them. They only released 2 albums that I'm aware of. Have them both, but the cover art on this one is just spectacular. Always thought that was a great cover. There's your picture in the back. Got your epic mustache right there. So yeah, this is good stuff, which you should be able to tell by the cover and the mustache. So okay, next up, I'm going to get into some 12-inch singles. This is actually one that I picked up on a site called, let's see what it's called, boonsoverstock.com. Now, Boone's Overstock mostly focuses on Christian rock, Christian metal, the 60s, 70s Jesus music stuff. Has a lot of metal on there. So if you're looking for, you know, even out of print Christian metal stuff, it's a good place to check out because they have a lot of stuff you wouldn't think that you could find so easy. But they also had this an area on there called mainstream, and it's basically bands that aren't Christian, and they're selling stuff that I don't see very often. So I picked this up really cheap. This is Alice Cooper promo single for Lost in America, which of course was the Last Temptation album. It has 3 live tracks on there: $1 Billion Babies, Hey Stupid, and No More Mr. Nice Guy. So it's a 4-song, basically EP, but a promo thing. Obviously on Epic Records, custom centering, pretty cool package. And it wasn't very much either, so really cool pickup on Boone's Overstock. I'll pick up anything by Cooper. I love Alice Cooper. 70s stuff is my favorite, but really I like all of it. Last Temptation, one of my favorite albums from him. So this is a 12-inch single for Gary Moore. I picked this up on the CD tape vinyl trade Asylum on YouTube. This is Gary Moore, Empty Rooms. Another artist I pick up anything by. This is a cool pickup. There's actually a twofer. I picked up another one with this one, and it is shaped 10-inch for Shape of Things. And you can see I haven't even played this one. It's just a cool. These shaped ones are nothing more than cool collector's things, and I have a few of them. I think I have one from Wasp and T-Rex, and a few others, but I probably wouldn't have bought this on its own, but since it came with this, it's still both very cool to have. So Gary Moore, Shape of Things, and I believe the B-side is a live song. Let's see, Empty Rooms and Nuclear Attack live on the B-side. So, Gary Moore, ex-Thin Lizzy guitarist. Another 12-inch single, another band I'll pick up anything by. I love this band. This is Mass. This is from their first full-length album, Do You Love Me? Kind of a ballady song, backed with a shorter version of Do You Love Me, the radio version. This is on RCA Records. I believe it was 1985. Just a hair late for them, unfortunately. I've talked about Mass before and the unfortunate problems they had with record companies and management early on that kind of made them release their material a little too late, but I still love Mass. This is a cool little pickup I found for a couple bucks on eBay. And actually picked this up and one other one up, and he offered free shipping on it. So I think for both 12-inch singles I paid like $5 or $6 for, so not a bad deal. And it's in immaculate condition. So Mass, Do You Love Me, RCA Records, band from Boston, Massachusetts, which is where they get their name from. This one here, see, I picked something when I was on a trip out in California. 12-inch single, another band I'll pick up anything by. This is TNT, 7 Seas. It's funny because I've been showing a lot of TNT stuff recently. Just received a 7-inch single and a cassette tape of TNT recently. I haven't been actively looking out their stuff, but I just keep running across it. So, 7 Seas, on same song on both sides. This is just a radio promo single. I especially like them when they have a custom cover like this. Back is just black. By the way, playing in the background is Wicked Kin. This one, a lot of people have shown it already, but I've added it to the collection. This is actually was picked up in California by my good friend Bill Bafford right around Record Store Day. It is open. It still has a shrink on it though. You can see the price tag on it. Kind of crazy for a 3-song EP. I actually have an old 7-inch repressing of this from back in the 80s as well. This is a 12-inch Record Store Day pressing of the famous Def Leppard EP. Ride into the Sun, Get Your Rocks Off, great songs from them. Anybody ever doubts they were a heavy metal band, these songs right here fit perfectly into the sound of the new wave of British heavy metal back in, what, this is 1979? So, I mean, that's how long ago this came out. That's when basically the new wave of British heavy metal movement started in 78, 79, with bands like Def Leppard and Saxon and Maiden and those kind of bands. So, Def Leppard EP, glad to have that in my collection. I love the early Def Leppard stuff. And finally, this is just a classic, and I've had this on the CD for years. Managed to score, I think I actually have one of their albums sitting back here. So I was just listening to it the other day. This is Method of Madness. But this is their first album. This is Martial Law. And this is a great American heavy metal album, power metal, whatever you want to call it. Just straightforward metal. Killer vocals from Mike Becerra. Mike, who's played in several different bands, Yngwie Malmsteen among others, since this album came out. But yeah, this is brutal. Check out the band picture. You just know that a band who looks like that coming from the 80s is going to be great. Oh, and you've got what, two killer mustaches in there. All right, so there you go. 2 thumbs up. Great stuff. If you haven't heard Obsession, especially this Martial Law EP, any of their albums actually, well worth getting into if you just like straightforward heavy metal. Bit of a melodic vibe, but this album especially is a little more raw and biting, and it was just a band trying to prove that they were so metal, you know. Great album from them. Glad to finally pick a copy up on vinyl. In excellent condition. Once again, I grabbed this one from the CD vinyl cassette asylum on YouTube. So that's it. That is my rock and metal update. I actually have a lot more to show. A whole bunch of old school metal that I will be showing in an upcoming video, and hope to get another What's Spinning done, and I've got quite a few things planned. Just been super busy, so I'm trying to keep it to at least 1 video a week, sometimes 2. So appreciate you all watching. You know, get below. I always answer back. I love talking to you guys. If I made a mistake, let me know. You guys always do, which I appreciate, because these are not scripted videos, so you know, sometimes I make mistakes. So anyhow, that's it. Thanks for watching. God bless and stay strong.